I was the first to notice the trembling, subtle at first, then unmistakable. Sweat traced down her temples under the blazing July sun, but she stood there wearing thick pink winter mittens stuck to her tiny hands. "I'm cold," she murmured. Her father, my brother-in-law, Daniel, let out an easy laugh. "She's just eccentric. Always has been." But I knew that wasn't the truth. His smile looked forced, his gaze slipping away from mine, and there was something tight, uneasy, hiding inside his voice. When he walked toward the cooler for another beer, instinct, not guilt, guided my steps. I gently slid off one mitten. There were no fingers. Only wrapped, bandaged stumps. My pulse didn't spike, it slowed, heavy, steady, like my body had been bracing for this revelation. The moment the truth finally tore through the silence. Daniel had oozed into our family after my sister passed. He'd married young, had my niece Nora, and slowly took control of every part of her life. Her schooling, her money, her schedule, even the stories she was allowed to tell, always insisting she was fragile. For years, I believed he was simply an overprotective single dad. I even helped him, driving Nora to doctors, staying away when he insisted she needed rest, trusting him because I wanted my sister's choice in a partner to mean something. But with each passing year, Nora grew smaller, quieter, more terrified. And Daniel grew bolder. He truly thought we couldn't see it. He was wrong. 6 months before the barbecue, I spotted a bruise around Nora's wrist, thin, distinct lines, like someone had grabbed her too hard. When I asked, she said, "I bumped a drawer. Too perfect. Too practiced." Later, when Daniel asked me to fetch insurance papers from his glove compartment, I saw a hospital bill tucked inside. It wasn't for a minor accident. It was for a severe thermal burn. Nora hadn't bumped anything. Someone had burned her. My anger didn't burst outward, it compressed inward, dense and cold, a collapsing star settling deep in my chest. I stopped confronting him with questions. Questions warn cowards. Instead, I watched. I listened. I waited. 2 months later, Nora's teacher called me privately, voice hushed and trembling. She hides her hands in class. Won't write. Says her dad gets upset when she makes mistakes. That was when the betrayal cut through everything, the betrayal of my sister's memory, the betrayal of a child who trusted him blindly. And even my own betrayal, for staying quiet for so long. That silence ended that day. Men like Daniel don't topple easily. They're dismantled, slowly, deliberately. I gathered everything. Photos. Audio clips. Screenshots of odd messages. Every bruise, every bandage, every ridiculous excuse. I spoke with a child psychologist off the record. She taught me to recognize patterns, injuries disguised as accidents. Then I did the last thing he'd ever expect. I became agreeable, friendly, supportive. I complimented his parenting, volunteered to babysit, bought Nora toys he'd later confiscate. All while sliding a GPS tracker under his truck seat, placing a camera inside the teddy bear I gifted Nora, and copying every hospital invoice through the email recovery password he reused like a fool. Revenge isn't rage. It's architecture, angles, placement, timing. By summer, I had a blueprint of his abuse and a plan to bury him beneath it. The barbecue was the final spark. Those missing fingers confirmed what I already knew. He hadn't just harmed her, he had mutilated her. Punished her for dropping things. His own words captured on the hidden nannycam bear. I walked to the cooler, stood beside him, his back turned. "You hurt her," I said quietly. He stiffened, beer dripping off his hand. I didn't need his confession. I had already hit upload every file, every recording, every photo sent to the police, CPS, our whole family, and even his employer. His phone buzzed first. Then mine. Then the entire backyard vibrated with alerts like an angry hive. His sister gasped. His mother dropped her plate. His friend stepped back like Daniel had turned toxic. He spun toward me, color draining from his face. "What did you do?" "I exposed you." He lunged for Nora, but she clung to me. For the first time ever, she chose me. Neighbors recorded. People shouted for someone to call the police. And the best part? I didn't raise my voice. Not once. Revenge doesn't need loudness. It needs accuracy. Police arrived within minutes. Daniel screamed my name like a threat, like I was the villain destroying his life. But the officers didn't look at me. They didn't question me. They already had everything they needed. He was handcuffed in the grass, the same lawn where he'd been laughing an hour earlier. His final words before they shoved him into the cruiser were, "It was an accident." But Nora's tiny, bandaged hand squeezed mine, and that was the only truth that mattered. Her healing will take time, real time. But she sleeps at my house now. No mittens. No dread. And her scars are no longer hidden.